Violence inside a school. A cafeteria worker ends up in the hospital.
These young folk are out of control.
See the ordeal caught on camera and how a milk carton sparked the violence.
Another child caught in the crossfire.
That 7-year-old, that 5-year-old, now my 3-year-old.
This boy's mother relives the chilling events and her message for our city plagued by violence.
A gender reveal gone wrong. The massive fire now being linked to this explosion.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 10.
Violence inside a Baltimore City school. A worker hurt. Her family talking about what happened.
Violence in Baltimore striking one of the most vulnerable people in the city. Tonight, it's a 3-year-old boy.
Two big stories capturing the attention of Baltimore that are both first on Fox tonight. A school cafeteria worker is in the hospital after she says 2 students attacked her.
The violent confrontation was caught on camera, and the victim's family is speaking out. Keith Daniels joins us right now with the story that you're seeing first on Fox. Keith, what happened?
Well, Kai and Jennifer, the National Academy Foundation School, which is located at the historic Dunbar campus, and tonight a worker is hurt and 2 students are blamed. A violent confrontation inside a Baltimore City public school caught on cell phone video. A fight that students quickly posted to Instagram. This time, a cafeteria worker says she was attacked by 2 female students. School police say it happened today at the National Academy Foundation Middle High School in East Baltimore.
They attacked my sister. She couldn't defend herself.
Kenya Mackey is at Mercy Medical Center, where she says her sister was rushed to the emergency room with 2 bruises on the forehead, a shattered wrist, and broken arm. Mackey says her sister told her a carton of milk triggered the violence.
Protocol is if you get a milk, you have to get the food that goes with the milk.
But the students only wanted milk. When told no food, no milk, tempers flared. In the video, at one point, school administrators are seen holding the students back, but they got away.
You can literally actually see them run behind my sister. My sister was walking away. They ran behind my sister. These young folk are out of control. They're disrespectful. They're rude. And then you get to meet their parents, and their parents are the same way.
Well, in a statement released tonight, school officials say pending a complete investigation, the students involved will receive all appropriate consequences according to the law and the district's code of conduct. Keith Daniels, Fox 45 News.
All right, Keith, thank you for that report. Baltimore, a city in crisis. That crisis strikes another child. 7-year-old Taylor Hayes was shot and killed last July. Taylor's sister, Amy Hayes, a 5-year-old, was shot last week. Now a 3-year-old child is struck by a bullet in Baltimore. A man was also hurt in today's shooting, and tonight the mother of that 3-year-old is speaking out. Fox 45's Alexa Ashwell is live outside of police headquarters with this mother's message. First on Fox. Alexa.
Okay, this mother is thankful her 3-year-old son is alive tonight, hoping police here are able to solve the case soon, stressing this violence must stop now before another child is hurt or even killed. Tonight, 3-year-old Darrell is home from the hospital. The toddler's body grazed by bullets in a shooting outside his home here on North Elwood Avenue in East Baltimore.
My baby just turned 3. We don't deserve this. We really don't. Like, I don't understand what's wrong with these young men and these guns.
Darrell's mother said she had just stepped inside the house to get her phone with her friend and her son waiting on the front porch when someone opened fire around 1 this afternoon.
I left my baby there for 2 seconds for us to get in the cab, and shots was just rung out.
The mother's 38-year-old friend was shot in his leg, and her son grazed by 2 bullets. Police responded, collecting shell casings scattered on the neighborhood street.
We do believe that someone in the area saw what occurred, and we would appreciate a phone call.
Darrell's mother said she doesn't know who would do this or why.
I'm really lost right now. You know, I'm trying to figure out, too.
Her son now joining the latest children to be impacted by gun violence in the city. Just last week, 5-year-old Amy Hayes was shot in West Baltimore, and her sister, 7-year-old Taylor, was shot and killed last July. Tonight, Darrell's mother saying enough is enough.
And they need to put them down, seriously. They need to put them down, period.
Police have not yet identified the 38-year-old man who was shot or released a motive in this case. Anyone with any information is asked to call police. Reporting live from police headquarters, Alexa Ashwell, Fox 45 News.
Thank you, Alexis. So far, police have yet to make an arrest in the shooting of Amy Hayes, although commanders say they're getting leads. Amy Hayes was shot in West Baltimore, a community where roughly a quarter of the city's vacant properties are located, and more than 120 people have been shot this year, making it one of the deadliest districts in the city. The thing that makes solving a case like Amy Hayes so difficult. In our Operation Crime and Justice report, that's in 10 minutes.
Police are investigating a shooting near Pressbury and North Mount Streets. That's where officers found a 24-year-old man shot in the chest around 12 this afternoon. The victim was taken to the hospital. His condition is unknown.
A Baltimore daycare worker pleads guilty to killing an 8-month-old baby. Leah Walden was accused of suffocating little Reese Bowman at the Rocketeers Learning Center back in May of 2017. Police say the center's video system shows her singling out the child during nap time. A co-worker also told police that Walden was angry with the infant earlier that day.
As parents, you know, you have to trust that child care providers are going to protect the lives of your loved ones. And when that doesn't happen, they have to be held accountable.
Under the terms of a plea deal, Walden faces up to 70 years in prison, but could be eligible for parole in 25 years.
New tonight, a 7-year-old girl is in the hospital after being hit by a truck getting off her school bus in Hughesville, Charles County. Police say that driver ignored the bus's stop arm and hit the child as she crossed the street. At this hour, we're told she has critical injuries but should recover. That bus had just left T.C. Martin Elementary School. Other students on the bus were safe.
We now know the names of the people involved in a deadly crash along I-70 this morning. Around 9:30 this morning, authorities say a tractor-trailer driven by 53-year-old Fresnel Pierre of Columbia slammed into a prison van and trailer parked in the shoulder in Frederick County. 34-year-old Milton Pajak was killed.
In front of that van were 6 inmates on this highway work crew. The tractor-trailer struck 4 of them.
Well, charges haven't been filed yet. A correctional officer inside the van during the crash was not hurt.
Congressman Dutch Ruppersberger vows to look into a drill that he says caused panic inside of Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. Earlier, there were reports of an active shooter inside that hospital. Hundreds took shelter from the reported threat, including Ruppersberger. Later, U.S. Navy officials tweeted that an alert was wrongly sent out while it was preparing for an upcoming drill. Ruppersberger told Fox 45 the whole thing was not properly planned.
That's not the way to have a drill, and I'm all for drills, especially after all the problems we've had throughout our country with all these mass killings. But in this situation, it was just, in my opinion, if that was a drill, it was not planned properly.
Well, Ruppersberger said medical officials and Montgomery County Police were also unaware of the drill. Coming up at 10:30, we go live to Walter Reed with a closer look at the message that caused all the commotion.
National Bohemian Beer is facing the threat of extinction tonight. A battle over the beer is playing out in a Wisconsin courtroom. Our Jeff Abel is live in Hampton tonight with this story. Jeff.
Well, you know, most of Natty Bo beer is consumed right here in Baltimore, and most of that is consumed right here at Fraser's, which is a top seller of the beer. But tonight there is real concern about the fate of their favorite beer.
I've been coming in Fraser's since I was 17.
Come by Fraser's, have good beer.
It's a couple of beers after work.
Tastes okay. The price is great.
And at Fraser's in Hampden,
Justin, I'll take another Bo whenever you're ready.
it seems everyone knows Bo.
So it's a workman's beer kind of thing, you know?
I mean, you look around, you got Bo everywhere.
National Bohemian Beer has become one of the top sellers at this bar and is facing the threat of extinction.
Tall boy.
Miller Corp, which produces the beer, wants to end its partnership with Pabst, the company that owns the beer.
I had no idea what was going on.
Pabst is now suing in federal court, but if it loses, Natty Boh could be a beer without a place to brew.
It'd be great if they bring it home if all this goes through and they can't make it in Milwaukee anymore. It'd be nice if they would bring it home and make it here.
I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to pick it up. I mean, the way Natty Boh sells in Baltimore, it'd be crazy for any brewery not to pick it up.
Natty Boh won Baltimore's heart 130 years ago when it was first brewed in the city. Now, Baltimore still consumes more than 80% of all the beer that's sold.
You need to be proud of the things that are here. And, you know, with everything that's going on in Baltimore nowadays, you need to try to keep something pure.
Well, Natty Boh is now being brewed out of state, and many experts believe that returning to Baltimore could be virtually impossible because there's simply no breweries large enough to handle the capacity that is needed. We're live at Fraser's in Hampton. Jeff Abel, Fox 45 News.
All right, Jeff, thank you. Well, new today, a new experience for jurors in Baltimore City. The Mitchell Courthouse unveiled a new jury assembly room. Judges hope it brightens the spirits of those who get called to duty. It's twice the size of the old jury room and brighter.
Prospective jurors and those who have been seated on a jury deserve a comfortable and an inviting space to wait, to assemble during their service. This new jury room was designed to provide just that.
Well, the jury assembly room also features a mural created by local artist Bob Hieronymus. It has historic views of Baltimore.
There's a lot more ahead on Fox 45 News at 10 tonight. This blast starting a wildfire, millions of dollars in damage. What this was supposed to celebrate. Also, the sinking sidewalk along 26th Street, the progress made in stopping a collapse today. But next, bullets striking the youngest in Baltimore. The thing that may make it difficult for police to find the gunman when the News at 10 continues.
And we're tracking very cold temperatures out there today. What you need to know is that the winds will be picking up tonight. We have a wind advisory in place tomorrow from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. We could get wind gusts up to about 45 miles per hour. I'm going to show you how long this wind will stick around and when we're going to see actually our temperatures go back up, but with some rain joining us coming up in my forecast.
Mayor Pugh's choice to become the next police commissioner wrapped up his visit to Baltimore today, but it could still be a while before Joel Fitzgerald finds out if he's officially confirmed as the city's next top cop. As John Rydell reports, some city council members want to make sure he's properly vetted.
We need to change the way we do business and focus on some of the things that are necessary to get crime under control.
Fort Worth Police Chief Joel Fitzgerald outlines his strategy for becoming commissioner here in Baltimore. Mayor Pugh says she is confident that she has made the right appointment.
He's been vetted in 3 other cities. I think he's a great choice for Baltimore. He's ready to lead the police department.
But Fitzgerald must still be confirmed by the city council. And next month, 4 council members will be traveling to Texas to learn more about the mayor's choice. For now, Councilman Brandon Scott says he needs much more information about Fitzgerald.
I will not be voting in favor of the nominee without seeing the full background report. I think it's ridiculous for anyone to expect us to do that.
The mayor's office has released Fitzgerald's resume, but private information about the appointee compiled by an outside firm is not being released. It's a source of frustration to some council members.
I want to see all information. I can't say what I won't do, but for right now, I just believe that why shouldn't we have the information?
Now, in the meantime, the city council plans to hold a confirmation hearing for Joel Fitzgerald during the 2nd week of January. At City Hall, John Rydell, Fox 45 News.
Joel Fitzgerald will have a lot of work to do if he does become the next police commissioner. So far this year, there have been 279 murders in the city of Baltimore, which is down. At this time last year, there were 314. Compare that to Fort Worth, Texas. Over the last 3 years, Fitzgerald has seen the number of homicides fluctuate, but never exceed 70 per year. But Fort Worth has a population of more than 870,000 people. That's 260,000 more residents than Baltimore has.
Well, just last week, a little girl was shot in West Baltimore. She survived, but tragically, her big sister was shot and killed earlier this year. Operation Crime and Justice lead investigative reporter Joy LaPola looks at the current state of the investigation.
This is 7-year-old Taylor Hayes. She was fatally shot back in July. 4 months later, just days before Thanksgiving, Taylor's little sister Amy is shot as the 5-year-old finds herself in the middle of a shootout on the street. Tonight, the role this crime-ridden community is now expected to play in leading police to the child shooter. 2 innocent girls, each struck by a stray bullet in separate shootings. 7-year-old Taylor Hayes sitting in the backseat of a car, her 5-year-old sister Amy walking down the street.
I just sit at the window, watch her go down to get her juice and come back.
Unlike her older sister, Amy is still alive. The crime has left the children's family shaken and local leaders demanding answers.
We are still asking for help from the community.
Amy Hayes was shot in West Baltimore, a community where roughly a quarter of the city's vacant properties are located. And more than 120 people have been shot this year, making it one of the deadliest districts in the city.
Justice for Amy. Yes.
On this night, a crime walk brings local leaders into the community.
We don't care about the mayor. We don't have no mayor. We our mayor. We govern our own community.
We're here to help, okay? So let's help. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Some residents here expect the government to turn its back.
If I got shot on this corner, she wouldn't came here. It'd have been another black male shot.
Police say in the case of Amy Hayes, the innocent child found herself caught in the middle of a gun battle between someone in a car and a person on the street.
So tonight, let's agree, lay down our differences and come together to save our city and our children.
As in most crimes, police will need community intelligence to solve it. This in a city where a stop snitching culture is prevalent.
If you come out in the community and show that you're concerned and you have love and unity, it gives the community a sense of hope that maybe something could change.
Can you continue with the robberies?
City Councilman Brandon Scott chairs Baltimore's Public Safety Committee.
I think that folks were angry about it, but we just have to make sure that we're all turning that anger into action.
But that first step for some residents could be a challenge, as many families who live here face generations of lost loved ones in a crime-ridden community. What sets these shootings apart is the age of the victims. Taylor Hayes died at the age of 7. Amy Hayes now faces an uncertain future at the age of 5. Police have yet to make an arrest in Amy's shooting, but the alleged shooter in Taylor's case is scheduled for trial in February. Now, if there's a story you'd like us to investigate concerning public safety, we want to hear from you. You can give us a call at 410-662-1456 or shoot us an email at crimeandjustice@foxbaltimore.com. And you can remain anonymous. I'm Joy LaPola, and this is Operation Crime and Justice. Well, a very chilly, windy day in Baltimore.
It is indeed. Let's check in with meteorologist Vetus Reed to see what tomorrow looks like, Vetus.
Kind of like today, kind of cold and chilly. It looks like we do have wind advisories in place from 6 a.m. until about 4 o'clock through much of the morning and afternoon. Now, we'll get some sun and clouds, but those temperatures are going to really feel colder because of the winds out there. So you have to really dress warmly. And as the kids go to school or to the bus stop, make sure you put those scarves, gloves, and hats on them because our temperatures will be dropping down into those 30s tonight, some areas in the 20s. And then you add the winds, it feels even colder with the wind chill factor. So 36 degrees in Baltimore. You're looking at 31 in Cumberland, 26 in Pittsburgh. Very cold temperatures across the state. And it looks like as we see those winds right now, currently anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, we could get those wind gusts tonight around 25 to 35, but then tomorrow they actually pick up a little more. We could get wind gusts up to about 45. Right now we have a wind gust of 26 in Baltimore, 22 in Westminster, wind gusts of 28 in Stevensville, Annapolis about 21 mile-an-hour winds. So once again, high winds expected tomorrow. That is the wind gust, and it looks like we could get wind gusts up anywhere from about 35 to 45 miles per hour, maybe a peg of about 50 in some spots along the water. So the blue shaded areas, Central Maryland, Eastern Shore, once again until 4 p.m. tomorrow. So expecting tonight, your forecast looks like this. We'll see those temperatures down to right around 31 degrees, mostly cloudy and chilly with those winds out of the west-northwest, right around 10 to 18 miles per hour. So bundle up, stay warm. I'll show you when we get a break from the cold, and when the temperatures will warm up, we also get a little rain in the forecast as well. Back to you.
All right, Vetus, thank you. Repairs have started after a lengthy sidewalk buckles in North Baltimore. Coming up, we'll take a look at the work being done, and we'll look back at the landslide disaster 4 years ago, it still has residents nervous.
Babies are us. Moms and mothers-to-be in the military are being honored. Up next, one of the biggest baby showers you will ever see, connecting military moms. A mission unlike any other. On this Giving Tuesday, more than 30 military moms and moms-to-be honored at a group baby shower. As Amy Albert from our sister station in Washington, D.C. shows us, for some, it's a chance to connect with other expecting members of the military.
Oh, this is cute. An extra special mission.
Aww.
On this Giving Tuesday.
I think this is a burping pool.
Mom-to-be Katie Mar Diaz has served in the Air Force National Guard for 2 years.
Every step and obstacle that I faced, I've learned to cherish it because it's made me who I am today.
She's one of more than 30 military moms and moms-to-be honored today at a group baby shower put on by Operation Shower.
My advice to you is go ahead and buckle in for safety, ladies, because it's going to be a wild ride.
The event complete with all the shower essentials, games, giveaways.
Look at that.
And perhaps most importantly, building connections.
It's really nice to see all the ladies together interacting.
To put them at tables with other moms who can relate to their story and connect with others, walk around exchanging emails and phone numbers, that's the biggest gift of all.
Some waiting in anticipation to meet their bundle of joy.
I'm excited, I'm nervous. I don't know what to expect, so I'm kind of in limbo a little bit.
Others bringing their smiling little ones along.
She was born September 21st, a whopping 9 pounds, 7 ounces.
Each mom honored as they embark on perhaps the greatest mission ahead.
It makes me grateful. It's very humbling, and I appreciate everything that they do.
Coming up on Fox 45 News at 10, the false alarm this afternoon at Walter Reed. A closer look at the message that caused the scare.
A sinkhole in Charles County creates headaches for residents on the street where it happened. Coming up, we'll tell you how some have found a silver lining in the midst of inconvenience.
But next, the sinking sidewalk in Baltimore. The progress made today to stop a collapse. That's in less than 3 minutes on Fox 45 News at 10.
And I'm tracking really cold temperatures out there, dropping into the 30s tonight, and it'll be breezy and cold. We have a few high clouds out there. Back to the north and west over the mountains, a few snow showers. That won't make it here. I'll tell you about the cold air and the wind advisory in place for tomorrow coming up next.
There was work throughout the day as crews worked to try and shore up a wall threatening to collapse along 26th Street in North Baltimore. This just 4 years after a collapse 2 blocks away. Liz Ortiz shows us what's being done to keep things safe.
I think it's really unfortunate that once again another major piece of infrastructure in the city is failing.
That's what many people are feeling here in Charles Village after signs of another retaining wall collapsing along East 26th Street.
When I was out here working with the community members, I did notice that, even then the sidewalk was starting to move.
Just 2 months ago, Graham Carell Allen, along with the Harwood Community Association, completed the 26th Street Agility Trail artwork. That series of foot-based activities was intended for kids to have fun on the way to school. But after the sidewalk started to sink yesterday, City Department of Transportation decided to remove the sidewalk and dismantle the retaining wall.
And so it's really heartbreaking to see all of our beautiful and hard work getting jackhammered up and trucked away right now.
The city nor CSX have said exactly what caused the retaining wall to sink in the first place, but residents believe it's a combination of a deteriorating infrastructure and the weather.
You got to understand, here in Baltimore, it has been the wettest Baltimore in history. So it's beyond our control.
While crews continue to secure the area, Carell Allen is looking forward to redoing the artwork.
Once all this is figured out and is rebuilt, to come back in and restore the agility trail to continue to make this a fun and safe place for kids walking to school.
Liz Ortiz, Fox 45 News.
Waldorf residents say they're frustrated with the lack of progress to fix a sinkhole that opened up back in August. A deluge of rain caused the roadway to open up in the Smallwood community over the summer, exposing a gas pipe underneath. Months later, neighbors say the closed road is still a major inconvenience.
It's been too long. It's frustrating. They just need to have it taken care of, and it should have been done 4 months ago. I mean, it takes longer to go places. You know, kids can't even walk through here because the sidewalks are caved in too.
Well, today, contractors for Washington Gas were out working to cut off the exposed gas line. A spokesperson for the Charles County government says a new pipe has been ordered, but complete repairs will have to wait until January.
Back to one of our top stories tonight, an alert that should have never been sent, and that alert triggered a lockdown and a panic at Walter Reed. Officials said it was a drill, then said it was a false alarm, but now we're learning it was all a big mistake. Heather Graff from our sister station in Washington, D.C. is following this developing story. Heather?
Well, Kai, it was a mistake that caused a lot of frustration for a lot of people, and fueling that frustration were several conflicting explanations from military officials, some of them sent out just 30 minutes apart.
The sense of fear on Tuesday afternoon in Bethesda was all too real.
It was a little bit jarring.
And hours later, those put on lockdown inside Walter Reed Medical Center are still trying to understand exactly what happened.
There's currently an active shooter on the compound. Move all patients and staff.
Sheeker Shaw says he and other staff members first got the alert on their cell phones about an active shooter, followed by confusion about whether it was a training exercise or a legitimate threat.
I kind of wished that the hospital, if it was a drill, that it had been communicated better.
We soon heard the same concern from patients.
At first it was a little confusing.
And from a longtime congressman from Maryland who was there and had to shelter in place as it all played out. Representative Dutch Rupersberger not hiding his frustration, even as the U.S. Navy issued an updated statement saying it was an improper use of a mass notification system that caused the scare. Essentially, someone activated the alert without using the words exercise or drill. So for now, the confusion and the questions remain.
I think there's tons. I think there's more unanswered questions than are answered questions.
And the congressman told us he plans to demand answers to those questions over the next couple of days. As for the staff and the patients we spoke with at Walter Reed, they say they hope this can be a lesson learned and they can have some good takeaways from all of this. They also did have some praise for law enforcement in this area on their quick response. For an hour live tonight in Bethesda, Heather Graff, Fox 45 News.
Thank you, Heather. The incredibly damaging sawmill fire in California started with this. The U.S. Forest Service says Dennis Dickey started the sawmill fire by shooting a rifle at a target filled with explosive materials for his baby gender reveal party. That fire went on to cause $8 million in damage. Dickey was sentenced in federal court in October. He's set to pay $100,000 from his savings and $500 every month for the next 20 years. No lives or homes were lost in that fire.
A chaotic day of developments in the Russia investigation, including possible new charges against the president's former campaign chairman. That provoked some fiery reaction from the president himself. Chief political correspondent Scott Thuman has the latest from Washington.
Any comment about the probe? You very rarely see him and even more seldom hear him speak. But special counsel Robert Mueller is again front and center in the news and the president's tweets. The latest calling him a conflicted prosecutor gone rogue, doing tremendous damage to our criminal justice system.
We continue to be cooperative, but we also know that there was no collusion, and we're ready for this to wrap up.
Developments are speeding up. Trump's former campaign chair, already behind bars, was just accused of lying to the FBI, a breach of his plea deal. Paul Manafort is one of 4 former Trump team members, along with Michael Flynn, Rick Gates, and George Papadopoulos, accused of lying to the feds.
If you know anything about Paul Manafort, it shouldn't surprise you.
Some wonder if Trump will pardon Manafort.
I think a pardon would provoke a firestorm here. It would be
solid evidence of obstruction of justice.
If there are pardons, some lead Democrats, soon to regain the majority in the House, say they'll need to be investigated. And more debate if Congress should pass laws to protect the special counsel probe.
The argument is he might do this, or he could do this, or he might do that. Might is something on a chicken's butt, you know. Might is not a reason to pass a bill.
Meanwhile, another reportedly key figure, Jerome Corsi, a possible intermediary between Trump confidant Roger Stone and WikiLeaks, has rejected a plea deal telling CNN, "I'm not going to sign a lie." In Washington, I'm Scott Thuman.
Meteorologist Vetus Reed here with us, and the wind is really going to pick up even more tomorrow.
Yeah, we have wind advisories in place in the morning into the afternoon, so get ready for that. And the temperatures are kind of cold, so you have the cold temperatures plus the wind. You have to bundle up.
I left my hat and gloves at home today.
So did I. It was a bad move.
Make sure you have
I'm
them.
going to pay for that at about 11:31.
Yeah,
tonight.
make sure you have them tomorrow. It'll be cold. Let's talk about it. Here's what's going on out there. We're seeing those winds kind of stiff out there at anywhere from out of the west at about 15. So we're looking at a nice breezy night. Those temperatures are at 34 degrees, and we have partly cloudy skies out there with those winds. So it looks like it will be a chilly night. Winds will, like I said, pick up, and it definitely will be a cold start to our morning with temperatures in those lower 30s starting us off. So here's what it looks like as we look from our tower cam. We're looking at 36 degrees Inner Harbor, winds out of the west at 15 as well. And all across the area, we're getting those breezy conditions. 15-mile-an-hour winds in Baltimore as well as Westminster, 5 in Laurel, over in Stevensville, 15 miles an hour, and then up in Elkton and Chestertown about 7. So across the area, anywhere from 10 to 15 tonight. And then tomorrow, those winds pick up around 15 to 20 to 25. But gusting, that will be the issue, up to about 45-mile-an-hour gusts. We're getting about 20 to 25-mile-an-hour gusts across the state right now, so it is breezy, and that temperature feels much colder by as much as 10 to 12 degrees when you step outdoors because of that cold wind. Now, it looks like the wind advisories are across all of central Maryland and the eastern shore from about 6 a.m. till 4 p.m. tomorrow, as we have those wind gusts that could create some problems. So especially high-profile vehicles driving north and south on I-95, you'll feel that tug on the steering wheel with that crosswind coming in from the west-northwest, so just be prepared for that. Here's what's causing all that wind. We have this area of low pressure up there towards Maine and parts of New England. That's bringing lake-effect snow showers across upstate New York, parts of Pennsylvania, back towards Michigan. You can see all those lake-effect snow showers, western Michigan, and some of it stretching over parts of the Ohio River Valley. But we have an area of high pressure that's going to build in from the west. That's keeping us dry for about the next day and a half until we get towards the weekend, and that's when we'll get our next chance for some showers moving in and our temperatures warming. So right now, northwesterly wind, clear skies for tomorrow, just a few high thin clouds. It looks like through the day, quiet. See those winds still kind of breezy even into Thursday, and then it looks like we'll still stay dry, but then the clouds start moving in on Friday morning. Now notice the direction of the winds. They're coming up from the south. Those little red lines there indicating a southerly flow. So our temperatures slowly start warming, but then as we get into Saturday, take a look at those red lines. It's showing ahead of that front. As the rain moves closer, we'll get warmer temperatures for Saturday and Sunday. So for tomorrow, breezy, cold, sun and clouds, 39 degrees in Hereford, looking at 39 in Eldersburg, about 39 in Towson. So it's going to be a chilly one. Howard County and Anne Arundel County look at chilly temperatures in the upper 30s, low 40s over towards Odenton and Annapolis. And then the northeast corner of the state once is the same with breezy conditions, cold out there. In Harford County, Aberdeen, 41 degrees, 42 in Chesapeake City. And then the lower eastern shore, we're still looking at those chilly temperatures as well in the low 40s. So your 7-day forecast plans out like this. It looks like it'll be a cold one tomorrow. Chilly temperatures for the next couple of days. We're talking about blustery conditions for Wednesday and Thursday. Low 40s, overnight lows in the 30s. And then as we get towards Friday, it looks like some showers are developing here and there. 46 to about 48 degrees. We're warming slowly to 50 on Saturday with some more rain possible, 60% chance, 50% chance on Sunday. But look at that temperature. We're sitting at 62 degrees. Front will push on through, dropping temperatures back to 56 on Monday and Tuesday. And we'll see a few remaining showers across the area. So we have to deal with the cold until we get towards the weekend with some rain and warmer air. Back to you.
Vetus, thank you. Coming up, America's expanding opioid crisis, the new efforts to try to bring it under control.
Also ahead, you'll meet one woman paying it forward with shoes and boots.
Coming up on the late edition tonight, a vacation takes a dangerous turn as a hang glider hangs on for dear life. The pilot error that nearly cost a man his life. In tonight's health news, progress fighting the opioid epidemic. Of the 72,000 people who died of drug overdoses last year, a majority were caused by opioids. Last month, the president signed sweeping opioid legislation, which included more money for treatment, expanded access to naloxone, that's a overdose reversal drug, and also lifted some restrictions to treatment for Medicare and Medicaid patients. At least one lawmaker says although the problem seems to be leveling out, communities need help.
Communities don't have the ability to scale up their treatment programs because state governments turned its back and the federal government has been too little, too late.
In many regions, overdose deaths related to cocaine and methamphetamine are once again on the rise. Here's our question of the day. Do you think Congress is doing enough to stop the opioid crisis? Join the discussion. Go to our website, foxbaltimore.com/question. Now here at Fox 45, we're looking at what can be done to curb the opioid epidemic. Join us Wednesday night at 7 o'clock for a special national town hall, streaming live on foxbaltimore.com. First Lady Melania Trump will be hosting with Eric Bolling for this one-hour special event. Eric lost his own son to an accidental opioid overdose last year. Don't miss this important discussion. Your voice, your future. Opioids, a national crisis.
Family, friends, and the community are coming together to donate shoes and boots for homeless men, women, and children in Baltimore. And it's all thanks to one woman. Tonight, Joy Lambert introduces us to this week's Pay It Forward winner, Cynthia Brinkley Scott.
Watch your head when you go down.
In the basement of her Randallstown home.
This is literally where we keep, we take all these tables in and out every month.
Cynthia Brinkley Scott finds a bit of hope.
All of this, everything here is for the hopeful.
3 years ago, Scott founded Love the Hopeful, a nonprofit organization that provides everything from clothes to books and meals for the homeless, or the hopeful, as Scott calls them.
It's just a word that just came to me instead of saying they're homeless. It just wasn't a positive word for me. I just said hopeful. And that's why we have the Hopeful Market.
Once a month from April to December, Love the Hopeful provides a free farmers market under the Falls Way Bridge in Baltimore.
It's grown so much from just a fresh fruit market, bright foods, brighter day, to literally a Baltimore City pop-up market. We have books. We had over 100 books donated. And the hopeful, we're so excited about the books. We give out haircuts, free haircuts for the hopeful.
And on January 1st, they'll give away 1,000 pairs of shoes to warm the hopeful.
Cynthia does an incredible job of leading by example and empathy and really having a vision of how we can really, help those that are in need in our community. So it's very inspirational.
That's why Angela McLean nominated Scott for Pay It Forward.
It's my privilege on behalf of our law firm to present you with this check for a donation to your organization. It's the perfect time of year to bring recognition to what you do and all the people that you help. I hope this helps. My pleasure.
Oh my gosh. I'm so grateful. I see them as my family. I don't see them as anything different than me. At the core of who we really are is that we're love and we're all one. And I've realized that life is not about how much you can accumulate and how much you can get. It's about how many lives you touch. That's why we're really here.
Joy Lambert, Fox 45 News.
Well, if you would like to help, Scott still needs 900 pairs of new or gently used shoes, primarily for men. You can visit their website, lovethehopeful.org, to learn more. Do you know someone who's making a difference in the community? You can recognize their efforts by nominating them for Fox 45's Pay It Forward. They could also win $500. Go to foxbaltimore.com and click on Contest to read the rules and tell us what someone is doing to improve the lives of people around Baltimore.
Time for a detailed look at your weekend forecast.
Here's Chief Meteorologist Vetus Reed. Vetus.
Okay, well, it looks like we're going to see very cold temperatures once again for the next couple of days, but it starts changing by the time we get to Friday. The rain moves in, but we also see our temperatures increasing. 46 degrees on Friday. As we get to Saturday, looking at 50 degrees, and then we get to Sunday, 62 degrees. So you're going to continue to see those temperatures increasing across the area, but we have to deal with some spotty showers going through the weekend. And then once the front pushes through on Saturday or Sunday, it looks like we will start seeing those temperatures back in the mid-50s early next week. Back to you.
Thank you, Vita. Still to come on the late edition, an attack puts a Baltimore City cafeteria worker in the hospital. How a carton of milk sparked the violent confrontation.
Also ahead, the future of Natty Bo beer hangs on a court case playing out in Wisconsin. The solution one fan of the brew is recommending tonight.
And it looks as if John Harbaugh's quarterback decision may not be as tough as one might have thought at first. Bruce Cunningham has the very latest next in Sports Unlimited.
It appears tonight that Lamar Jackson will get a third consecutive start Sunday in Atlanta. The NFL Network's reporting that Joe Flacco was not cleared to play after yesterday's doctor visit, but that could change in the next few days. His hip injury is proving troublesome, so right now, Jackson looks to be the guy. Jackson's led the Ravens to 2 victories in Flacco's absence, and as it turns out, is setting some records. Against the Bengals, he and Gus Edwards became the first pair of rookie quarterback and running back to ever do that, rush for over 100 yards. The Hall of Fame has that game ball. And then last Sunday, Jackson hit Mark Andrews with a 74-yard catch and run. That broke a team record for receiving yards by a rookie tight end. Andrews has 23 catches for 337 yards and 2 touchdowns this season. One of the most welcome sights in Sunday's win over the Raiders was a 70-yard punt return for a touchdown by Cyrus Jones. It was welcome for 2 reasons. One, it's been a while since we've seen a special teams touchdown. And 2, he's a homegrown Baltimore guy who went to Gilman. After Terrence West and Michael Campanaro departed last season, there were no local guys on the roster until October 8th, when they signed Jones off waivers from the Patriots. And his new boss is very impressed.
I think Cyrus, we recognize his ability. He's very talented. You know, everybody in Baltimore knows that from his days at Gilman. So, but to see him break out and to see the punt return team block the way they did without the penalties, a great story. You know, to see that happen, and fans were into it. You know, they were excited for him too.
He started the season as a backup, and he ended a star. Our Prep Player of the Week's coming up at 11:30 as Sports Unlimited continues.
Thank you, Bruce. Did you know you can get Fox 45 News in a flash through your Amazon Alexa or Echo? We now deliver your local headlines and your forecasts in less than 2 minutes. The news is updated several times a day. If you have an Amazon device, just say, enable Fox 45 Baltimore.
A major milestone for a Christmas classic. How a New York church is celebrating the 200th birthday of Silent Night.
A classic Christmas carol turns 200 years old.
Today marks the 200th anniversary of the holiday staple, Silent Night. The song was reportedly created in Austria, written by a priest. Since that time, it's been translated into more than 300 languages. The song came to New York in 1839 and was first performed in front of the Hamilton Memorial on Christmas Eve. The New York City church marked the occasion with a performance. The first few verses were sung in German. Verses were also performed in French, Spanish, and English.